So let's start this podcast series with the Undead versus Night Elf matchup. And the title of this podcast is How to Stop the Night Elf from Attacking Your Base. Because if you have been playing Undead, one of the most common scenarios that you will encounter versus Night Elf is trying to get your tier 2 units and being constantly harassed by the Night Elf who comes into your base with mercs if there is a merc camp on the map, or with his tier 1 units just annoying you, or maybe with a few dryads if his tech is faster than yours, and just cancelling tier 2 buildings, so you can never build a slaughterhouse, you can never build your important tech buildings, and essentially the Night Elf gets all the map control and you can't do jack shit on the map because you know that you can take a fight. And the problem is that when the Night Elf starts doing that, you will never be able to take fight, because they can just tech to bears undisturbed, and it just doesn't work. You just lose the game in a very bad way. So the easiest way to counter the Night Elf strategy is to be aggressive yourself. So if you look at all the good Undead players, what they all do is they play aggressive. Okay, they don't wait for the Night Elf to come into their base, and they just go into the fucking Night Elf base first, and they try to do some damage. And even if they don't do all of that damage, the very fact that they are pushing prevents the Night Elf from pushing himself. So I just won a game acting like that with Naga second, which is an absolutely fantastic hero to combine with the Death Knight and Mass Ghouls, and it just gets rid of the Demon Hunter and the Panda if the Night Elf chooses to go Panda second. Now, of course, the Night Elf has adapted, so the Night Elf has the power to go Naga second too. And I don't really know who started this. I don't know if Night Elf players started going Naga first, or if the Undead players started going Naga. But the fact is that now there seems to be like an agreement on the meta that Undead versus Night Elf is played with DK first and Naga second, and Demon Hunter first and Naga second. So no one of the players can get a clear advantage with this second hero, which, as you may probably know, is just crazily strong in the mid game. So the Naga allows you with the Frost Arrow to slow down the units of your opponent and to get easy pickoffs that you wouldn't be able to get with a Lich second if you're playing Undead, or you wouldn't be able to get with a Panda second if you're playing Night Elf. So on W3 Arena, what I found is that a lot of people love to go Panda. A lot of people love to go Panda second instead of Naga. And I don't really agree with this decision, because if the Undead player gets the Naga like I did in this game, there's not much that you can do when the Undead is going to be aggressive in the Night Elf base. So basically, what you do is you try to creep your Death Knight to level 2. What you're really trying to do is you are harassing the Night Elf and try to prevent him from getting level 2. But it doesn't matter if you succeed or not, because it's not easy due to the Ancient War creeping to prevent him from getting that damn level 2. So, but you still want to be there, delaying him, annoying him, coiling archers, or trying to get last hits. Basically, you want to try to get the best early game as possible. I wouldn't go there with ghouls. I would go there with Death Knight alone, trying to annoy, because I can always creep on the side with only ghouls. Then, depending on how well your early game goes, you move on. But usually when you have like 10 or 12 ghouls, you want to get all of them into the Night Elf base, because going in the Night Elf base with 5 ghouls or going in the Night Elf base with like 12 ghouls makes all of the difference, because the damage that you can do with 12 ghouls plus the decay and the Naga is just insane. So think about it, you got a Death Knight with coil, you got 12 ghouls, and you got the Naga with Frost Arrow. So you can slow down the Demon Hunter, you can surround him with the ghouls, and he won't be able to escape that easily because of the Frost Armor or the Frost Arrow of the Naga, and then you got the coil of the decay finishing him off. So in the worst case, you are gonna be able, if you play correctly, of course, you're gonna be able to pull off a town portal out of the Night Elf. If the Night Elf goes Pana second, of course, if the Night Elf is smart and goes Naga second, now it's all about micro, because he's gonna be able to use Frost Arrow too, and it all comes down to which of the players is gonna have the best mid game, and usually who's gonna win the battle in the mid game is gonna win the battle later in the late game, because if you are the Undead player and you do a consistent damage, killing lures, killing moonwells, maybe killing a few wisps, or even the hero if your mid game is crazy good, now you have the map control, the Night Elf cannot take an expansion, he's delayed, you can build your tier 3 units and Lich third, of course, and from there you just can take it from there and win the game easily using the nuke. But if the Night Elf reacts properly and gets a Naga second and gets a decent mid game, now he can take an expansion, he can build his tier 2 stuff, so he can still win. But I tell you, it's not gonna be easy for him. It's not gonna be easy for him to hold, because even if he picks the Naga, he's still gonna be with like 3-4 archers, because all the Night Elf are crazy techers. You never find a Night Elf with 6 or 10 archers. They all have like 3 or 4 archers. They're trying to defend with the trees, with the wisps, and with the moonwells, relying on the Demon Hunter. But once the Demon Hunter is surrounded and bring to low HP and essentially taken off of the fight, your life is going to be very easy with the Naga, the Death Knight, and 12 ghouls. So that's why when I play Night Elf, that's why I quit playing Night Elf essentially. I quit playing Night Elf just because of Undead, because everyone just kept being aggro on my base with like 8 ghouls or 10 ghouls, or I don't know, 8 ghouls and like 4 skeletons. It depends on your own style, but it's just too hard to stop that. It's just so hard to stop that. Your micro needs to be insane, and that's why Undead versus Night Elf is so strong in my opinion. But remember, you gotta be aggressive, because if the Undead plays passive, Undead sucks versus Night Elf. So if you play passive, you're gonna be destroyed by the Night Elf. The game is gonna finish in a very, very bad way for you. You have to be aggressive. If you are aggressive, Night Elf turns out to be very weak.